before getting into installing this new starter motor, I wanted to share a bit of information with you. So when I was searching for a Kia starter motor for a 3.8 litre engine, I searched across a few websites. The cheapest one I could find was 680 bucks. I was a bit taken by that. I was like, why 680 bucks? And then later on, when I came back to look at the starter motor, I see that there's a part number on there, and it's Hyundai part number. So then I went online and looked again, and I found exactly the same starter motor for 150 bucks. So looking for Kia, it was 680. Looking for Hyundai, I can find them for 150. Go figure that, eh? So there's the part number on there. You can read that for a second. So if you come across the same thing, that starter motor is hugely expensive, search for Hyundai. If you're searching for Hyundai and you'll find that it's expensive, search for Kia for the same engine, and find your best prices that way. So everything about it is the same except for the mounting here is a bit different, and this is for the cover that goes onto, that bolts onto the starter motor afterwards. So I'm going to swap that over. Looks like it can be swapped over, so I'll swap that over to this starter motor here, and we'll get into installing it. Okay, while that weather's not raining, I'm just getting into the starter motor now that it's arrived. Well, actually it arrived a few days ago, just other jobs come up and you get stuck into other things, you know how it is. I'm just putting all these connections on the starter motor first. Sorry if you can't see a lot at the moment, just trying to move that camera around everywhere. It's not the easiest task at times, but pretty much how I took this off is how it's going back on. Starter motor in place. We'll first get this bottom bolt in. I'm not having the starter motor staying in there by itself. Okay, I'll just leave that a little bit loose. I think I can pop the starter motor bolt up. I can probably reach that from here too. Yeah. And definitely having this engine roll mount out of the way helps it easier to get access from here. Now tighten up this top bolt. Having all the radiator hoses and everything out of the way at the top here, big help as well. I should have done that in the beginning. Alright, tighten that up as much as I can by hand. Put the spanner on there. Get the ratchet on there. That's it. Now I'll get that shield on. Maybe I can work out a better way. a different angle that you can see from. Alright, so what I did was I put the heat insulator there onto the solenoid, assuming that the power cord, when it was on, went around a different way, like over the top or something, and that's where the exhaust shield plate is going there. And I'm just not happy with that amount of heat being across the power cord with that in the way, so I'm gonna find another way to mount that back to the shield. Okay, just to show you here, this is what the shield that I cable tied around to there, and it's supposed to be there. I'm just going to use a couple of drill 4 holes, put some rivets in there, hold that in place. So just trim the rivets from the other side so it wasn't sticking out too far, and that's never going to come back off again. But yeah, even that there wouldn't have been doing much, but I guess it does something. Okay, just trying to show you here, having the hoses and everything out of the way, makes it so much easier. I can get access to both these 17mm on this mount from the top and have plenty of room to move around and tighten them up. I've already tightened the top one up. I'm just doing the bottom one now, and then we can get that other part of the roller mount in. Okay, so the starter motor's in, and you can see what I mean by there's not much room between the exhaust, like mils between the exhaust and the starter motor heat guard. So I'm not real fond of that idea. I would have designed it differently to give at least a 10mm space there, but that is what it is. It's all bolted in. I've just got to work out where this O2 sensor harness went. If I can't, I'll just cable tie that to where I think it's best. And this is back in. I'm not bolted in yet, but it's just loose. But that pin went in easy. Everything just went in real easy there, so I didn't have to stress over that too much. Obviously it's all cleaned up. I degreased it all, so it's cleaner to work with. So I've got all the bolts in place. I just need to tighten them up, and then, well, I can move this jack away now because that's all in place. Okay, jack's out of the way. Now I just need to tighten that roller mount up and put all the top back together. Just wanted to show you the bar and everything I've got here. So from ratchet, extension, 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 and then swivel. Now with the radiator hose and everything out of the way, you can see how straight everything is there. I've got the swivel on it at the moment, tightening it back up, but if I didn't have that swivel, I could have gotten away with it. Not having that radiator hose in the way, having the thermostat housing out of the way, I could just use extension bars to tighten that. I wouldn't need the swivel. Yeah, you just got that one more bolt and nut to tighten up down there. And start putting hoses and stuff back on. Okay, so it looks like I've got all the harness and the control there. So now I'm putting this housing back on, and I've used former gasket glue to go over, just as a extra precaution so it don't leak. I shouldn't have to, should just be able to bolt it up and should be right, but just to be extra sure. The former gasket is non-hardening. I don't like using silicone, so stay away from silicone. Okay, hose is back on. Now connecting up the battery. Always positive first when putting the battery in, positive last when taking the battery out, and it's a good time to be cleaning up all these connections so she's got a nice clean connection when you're putting the battery back on. Okay, moment of truth, we'll start her up. Oh, I've got coolant in the soda bottle there just to bleed the system after she starts. Obviously you can tell that parts of the car are off. Since I had to wait for the starter motor, other things were getting done as it happens. So going to do a repair on the bumper bar and already repaired the guard, just need to take it off and paint it now. Alright, starting it. just kidding. This is what really happened. Okay, one thing I didn't mention was this cable here. Say you're in, say for instance you're going camping or something, you can't start your Kia, you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, and you've got no way to get going basically. You can override the solenoid. With this starter motor, run a heavy line. It's got to be nice and heavy, like a jumper cable. You'll have to remove that cover plate, so hopefully you've got tools with you to go somewhere where you've got no help. Just run a heavy cable to that there, straight to the positive on the battery, and that will get you going. So you're not stranded in the middle of nowhere with, you know, waiting for help and no service, whatever it may be. So that'll get you out of trouble. Just run a direct line from there to the positive on your battery. Obviously you don't leave it on the battery, just till it started, and then remove the cable. If you can bolt it to here, then you can just leave it connected in the engine bay, but make sure you tape it up or something. You don't want a live wire hanging around. But doing that will get you out of trouble if need be. Another thing at the moment, I've got the heaters on, but I've also got the AC on, so try and heat the car up a little bit quicker. Just want to get that thermostat open. At the moment she's at quarter temp, she's not there yet. Okay, well a few bubbles came out. I'm just going to turn it off now, let it cool down. What's in that bottle there will probably be drawn into the radiator, and then I'll put the cap on. Okay, well that's it. Like I said, most of it did go into the radiator cap. She's full though. After she's ran a couple of times, like gone down the street and back, just check that in a couple of times to make sure that she's still full. And now it's the rest of it. So that's it. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.